Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Woods with TexStar Chiropractic. Today I wanted to go over with you one of the most common conditions that we treat here in the office, and that is sciatica. So what sciatica is nerve compression on the sciatic nerve, which the sciatic nerve is one of the largest nerves in the human body, and it forms from the lower back spinal nerves. They come together at the buttock and then travel down the back of the leg. So when someone has quote unquote sciatica, what's typically happening is the disc is getting compressed to the point where it's creating pressure on the nerve. And that could be at any level, between whether that's L4, L5, L5, S1. And those are the most common levels where we start to see that compression take place. And so what we can do for treating sciatica is a variety of things, but most commonly we're going to recommend doing spinal adjustments, which is going to help restore the mobility of the lower back so that we're alleviating pressure, and then doing something called spinal decompression. And what spinal decompression does is when the nerve is compressed or irritated, what it's going to do is help open those spaces up with some manual traction. That's going to help separate those joints, pull that pressure off the nerve, and create what we call a vacuum effect. That vacuum effect is the pressure coming off of the disc, which is going to alleviate the pressure on the nerve. It also can really help rehydrate the disc. A lot of times when we're dealing with sciatica, there's a lot of degeneration that's taking place, and so the disc height is a lot smaller. And so what we can actually do with the decompression is that pumping action that it creates while the patient's on there actually does something called imbibing, which is pulling fluid from the vertebra above and below to help rehydrate and plump up that disc so it's nice and resilient to the demands that you're going to put it throughout the day. The last thing that we're going to need to do after we go through that regimen of treatment is making sure that we build up a lot of core stability. Usually the reasons we develop sciatica, it's due to weak core muscles, especially the transversus abdominis, which are the tiny little muscles that basically go from vertebra to vertebra. And they're going to develop some altered movement pattern, which is going to create more load on one side versus the other. And that over a long period of time creates that repetition of creating that pinch due to the poor mechanic. And so building up even symmetrical stability is going to be the thing that really fixes this for the long term. But making sure that you've got good spinal mobility as well as good stability in the back is going to be really key to help deal with sciatica.